On October 10th, the USDA put out a memo to all 50 states that come November 1st, that 42 million individuals across the United States will not be receiving their food stamps due to the government shutdown. If you look up here at the chairs before you, this is who this is going to impact when we do not have food stamp abilities to be able to feed our community in Lucas County. What we are asking here today is the state of Ohio dip into their stabilization fund. As you all might know, that's the rainy day fund. The rainy day fund that has not dropped one raindrop on anyone in the state of Ohio when we have been in need. The 17% of Lucas County residents, that's just our county, that will be affected by not having food stamps come November 1st. That is 72,000 households.
That the current administration has to shut down because they don't want to provide health care for people in the long run.
That's right.
They don't want to provide health care for people in the long run. That's why we're here. That is a political decision. And guess what? Let's make it even better. Not only do we want to give people health care, now we don't want to give them food. All right?
Yeah.
This is a cruel and targeted, intentional tactic by the regime in power to inflict as much pain and much suffering on our communities that they can in the hope that something will break. Hey, you all right? Hey, you doing all right? Right? Stan, you all right? What do we all say? Here's what I told everybody. No, we are not all right. Don't say that we are all right. We are not all right when 31,000 kids are going to go hungry, potentially for Thanksgiving and in November. No, I'm not all right when $13.1 million is being withheld from this community starting November 1st. We looked at each other on Friday and said, maybe the county can just fill up the food stamp cards for everybody. It's $13.1 million a month. We can't do that. There's not one organization here that can do that. But we all know that people are going to get affected and getting affected in the next 10 days. We cannot, as a community, tolerate planned and forced hunger. Cruelly planned and enforced hunger. 99-1, they're not going to do anything. There is nobody coming to save us. There is nobody but the people in this room coming to feed our kids. There is nobody but the people in these rooms that are coming to take care of our seniors. But we are not going to get deterred by the politics at the state and the national level, because in Lucas County, we're going to help each other.
This problem that you are facing here in Lucas County, and in fact in all of our 88 counties in Ohio, started in Washington, D.C. And it started last spring when there were big votes in Congress that have created this crisis, not just across Lucas County, but across America. The President of the United States said that when all these programs would be cut, the states would take care of it. So, number one, it's important that you are pleading to the state, but I doubt that the state will help. It's millions of dollars. And the public is beginning to catch on that the price of everything is going up. But what happened in the spring was a bill passed that the president of our country called the Big Beautiful Bill. I called it the Billionaire Bonanza Bill. Yet it's not reducing the debt of the country. We have an exorbitant debt that needs to be reduced, but it will add somewhere between $3 and $5 trillion more dollars to our debt. It's going to gigantic tax breaks to people who already have enough. Okay, how much? Every year, if you are Donald Trump, a multi-billionaire, you will get back a set of tax breaks of an additional $350,000 per year. He will make over $1 million just during his presidency from the tax breaks that he gets. What is also happening at the national level is that the president has imposed tariffs where our farmers have lost their export markets, especially to China and they have been displaced by Brazil and Argentina. The only reason they're surviving is because they get a check in the mailbox. They don't like to farm the mailbox. They like to be farmers.
That's right.
But they have lost their markets, and those markets are not coming back. Not only is food at stake, but health insurance is at stake coming November 1st. And believe me, this is gonna hit our region hard in the belly, because every single one of the hospitals we have here in our region depends on federal, Medicare, and Medicaid funds to keep their bottom line balanced, all right? They are a working family, and maybe they have 4 kids. They earn $80,000 a year. They're gonna pay about probably between $2,000 and $5,000 more a year for insurance. That's gonna hit come November 1st. So we as a Congress, my side of the aisle is standing up and saying, we are standing firm. You cannot cut people's health benefits. And now you are here saying, hey, and now the food cuts have landed. So the American people are beginning to discover the true cost of this administration, and it is lethal. And it is lethal. And all I have to say is, what they are waiting for is fights in the street. They want violence because you see what they're doing. They're taking money without congressional approval and sending out the National Guard into communities across this country. And they are purposeful, and I'm so proud of the American people because they haven't fallen for that. I'm just saying here, for the religious leaders that are here, what I believe we need a peace march all across this country of religious leaders from every single faith expression. And what we need to fight for is the humane treatment of the American people.
Representative Latina Humphrey, who's out of Columbus, has already filed legislation in the House to ask the state of Ohio to take part of that $3.5, maybe closer to $4 billion rainy day fund and use it as a backstop for this crisis that we are facing. I intend to, and I talked with my caucus in the Senate, and we intend to introduce companion legislation in the Senate to also ask that we have this rainy day fund money put into place while the federal government decide that it's going to be a government for and by the people of the United States. But we need to make sure that the folks in Columbus know that we're not playing, that it is important, it is the fundamental business of government to take care of its people. Send letters, send emails, call the governor, call all of us and said, hey, what are you gonna do to help us? Because this president said it's gonna be the responsibility of the states. So, okay, state, it's your responsibility. What are we going to do? If our taxes go in, they should come back out for the betterment of all of us. And there is no excuse under the sun, none whatsoever, for us not to stand up and to do what we need to do in order to make sure that they are taken care of.
72,000 people will be impacted. We've talked about the need, we've talked about the hunger, but we haven't talked about what you actually can do. It's good to send emails to the state representatives and the state legislatures and to the Congress. That's important because they listen. But what's even more important while we're here today is to get out and vote. Get out and vote for those folks who are going to make decisions that impact you. No one believes that voting matters until you're standing here today like now, realizing that children in our community will go unfed because people who are the decision makers do not understand your life, do not respect your dignity of work, do not respect the fact that you get up every day and go to work and your ends still do not meet. That doesn't make you poor. It does not make you less than. We know that the system is rigged. And I usually don't talk like this, y'all, but we know that the system is rigged.
SNAP benefits. I'm wearing this shirt today. It says Toledo's for everybody to remind people this also includes people in our community that are disabled and also have mental health or physical disabilities. They also receive SNAP benefits and health care benefits. Everyone deserves dignity. Everyone deserves food. That's not something that should be used as a political weapon. And as state representative, I've learned what happens in Washington doesn't stay in Washington, right?
That's right.
It lands right here on our kitchen tables, in our classrooms, and in our communities.
That you can call us. We're here. but also reach out to the chair of the committee. Also reach out to the vice chair of the committee, which is agriculture, and the ranking member. Those are the ones who can get that into their committee, get those hearings going. That's really important. So reach out to them as well. It's an agriculture, House Bill 502. This is a crisis on our hands, and we need to make sure that we hear this bill quickly, we get it out of committee quickly, and we get it on the floor. Thank you.
And the zip code where folks are most affected, the zip code where most people will lose their benefits, is in the city of Toledo. It's the 43604 zip code. I think that is why you have so many city leaders here lending our voice to this effort. Well over $100 million has already been taken away from our community by the federal government, and that is before November 1st, when a city, the seventh largest city in Ohio, essentially, amount of people are going to lose their benefits.